My dear friends, let me begin with a simple question. How many of you have tolerated something for far too long, hoping it would change, but it never did? You tolerated disrespect because you wanted peace. You tolerated manipulation because you didn't want conflict. You tolerated emotional hurt because you loved someone. You tolerated draining people because you didn't want to lose them. But in all of this, you didn't realize you were losing yourself. Today, we are going to solve a very real problem. Why do we tolerate the things that break us? And how do we finally stop? Because life doesn't improve when situations change. Life improves when your tolerance level changes. My friends, let me tell you something very important. Your life is not controlled by what people do to you. Your life is shaped by what you allow. If you allow disrespect, it becomes normal. If you allow manipulation, it becomes routine. If you allow emotional pressure, it becomes your lifestyle. If you allow mistreatment, it becomes your identity. Just like a small crack in a wall eventually collapses a house, small acts of repeated disrespect eventually collapse your confidence, your peace, and your worth. We often say, I'm adjusting, I'm compromising, I'm being mature, I don't want drama, I hope they will change. But my friends, adjustment is beautiful only when it doesn't kill your inner peace. Let me share something with you. There are two types of pain in life. One, pain that helps you grow. Two, pain that slowly destroys you. The second kind of pain usually comes from what you tolerate. And if you tolerate the wrong things, you will end up fighting the wrong battles. So today, with a strong heart and a wiser mind, let's talk about what you must stop tolerating from anyone, no matter who they are. Family, friends, partner, boss, colleagues, strangers, whoever. Not with anger, not with ego, not with revenge, but with clarity, strength, and self-respect. My dear friends, listen carefully. Respect is not a luxury. It is not a bonus. Respect is a baseline. You don't earn respect by age. You don't earn respect by status. You don't earn respect by money. You earn respect by character. And the biggest mistake we make is thinking, if I stay quiet, they will realize their mistake. If I keep adjusting, they will value me. If I ignore it, things will get better. Let me break the truth gently but strongly. Disrespect does not decrease when you tolerate it. It increases. Imagine a child throwing a tantrum. If a parent stays silent, gives in, and tolerates it, the child learns that tantrums work. Similarly, adults behave exactly the same. When they see you silently accepting disrespect, they learn one thing: I can get away with it. Let me share a story with you. A professor once placed a chair in the middle of the class and said, whoever picks up this chair and walks around the room will get extra marks. Students rushed to grab the chair. Some struggled, some tried alternative angles, but no one could lift it. They asked, sir, why can't we pick it up? He smiled and said, because the chair is nailed to the floor. Then he said a powerful line. Some of you are trying to lift relationships that are nailed to disrespect. No matter how hard you try, you cannot move a relationship forward when one side is nailed to arrogance, ego, or disrespect. My friends, disrespect is not a mistake, it is a pattern. It is rarely unintentional, it is usually habitual. And you must understand, every time you let disrespect slide, you lower your worth in someone else's eyes. Not because you are worthless, but because you allowed them to believe you will accept anything. The best response to repeated disrespect is not anger, it is distance, it is silence, it is boundaries, not loud boundaries, not aggressive boundaries, clear boundaries. When someone disrespects you again and again, don't stand there proving your worth. Walk away and find places where your worth is felt, not argued about. My friends, One of the most dangerous things we tolerate without even realizing it is manipulation. Manipulation doesn't always sound loud. Sometimes it sounds sweet. Sometimes it sounds like concern. Sometimes it even sounds like love. Manipulation has many forms. Guilt tripping, emotional blackmail, twisting your words, making you feel responsible for their emotions, making you feel bad for setting boundaries, making you feel selfish for choosing peace. Let me say this clearly. People who truly love you will guide you, not guilt you. They will support you, not suffocate you. They will lift you, not limit you. Manipulators work in a very systematic way. They study your kindness. They exploit your empathy. They use your loyalty as a weapon against you. They turn your heart into their remote control. And the worst part, you start believing you're the problem. You start questioning your sanity. You start apologizing for things you didn't even do. You start losing confidence in your decisions. You start shrinking your personality just to keep someone else comfortable. Let me share a story. A wise man once showed his students a puppet. He moved it with strings and asked, "What do you see?" They replied, "A puppet dancing." He smiled and said, "You see the dance, but the puppet doesn't dance, the strings dance. The puppet only follows." Then he said, "This is how manipulation works. You think you're acting freely, but someone else is pulling the strings." My friends, you were not born to be controlled. You were not born to be molded into someone else's convenience. You were not born to carry emotional burdens that are not yours. Remember, someone who values you will never put you in a position where you have to lose yourself to keep them. If someone truly cares about you, they won't fear your independence. They won't fear your boundaries. They won't fear your growth. They won't fear your voice. Only manipulators fear these things because they lose control when you gain clarity. So stop tolerating manipulation. The moment you cut the strings, you stop being a puppet and start being a person again. Now, my friends, let's talk about something even deeper. The most dangerous tolerance is not what you accept from others, but what you accept from yourself. We often say yes to people while saying no to ourselves. We sacrifice our rest, our dreams, our emotional well-being, simply to avoid disappointing others. You stay awake for someone who sleeps on your effort. You break yourself for someone who never bends for you. You carry others who never help you carry yourself. You tolerate exhaustion. You tolerate emotional burnout. You tolerate emptiness. You tolerate overthinking. You tolerate mistreating yourself in the name of treating others well. My dear friends, you cannot keep pouring into others from an empty cup. Let me share a story. A gardener had 2 gardens. One he watered daily. The other he ignored because he was too busy taking care of everyone else's gardens. One day a traveler asked, "Why does your own garden look dead?" The gardener replied, "I had no time. I was helping others." The traveler smiled and said, "My friend, a gardener who does not care for his own garden cannot truly care for anyone else's." My friends, you are that garden. You cannot bloom if you keep watering the world while letting yourself dry out. Stop tolerating self-abandonment, overworking your mind, ignoring your mental health, suppressing your needs, staying silent about your pain, allowing yourself to be last on your own priority list. Let me tell you something very strong. Being good to others is beautiful, but being good to yourself is essential. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. If you respect yourself, the world learns to respect you. If you protect your peace, the world learns to value your presence. If you set boundaries with yourself, the world learns your limits. Your peace is your responsibility. Your energy is your responsibility. Your mental health is your responsibility. Stop tolerating situations that drain you. Stop tolerating people who exhaust you. Stop tolerating habits that destroy you. because the world treats you based on the standards you set for yourself. My friends, forgiveness is divine, forgiveness is strength, forgiveness is freedom. But listen carefully. Forgiveness does not mean staying where you keep getting hurt. You can forgive someone from the heart and still keep them out of your life. You can love someone deeply and still choose distance. You can pray for someone's happiness and still protect your peace from them. Some people do not change because they don't want to change. Some people don't change because they don't see the need to change. Some people don't change because you don't change your tolerance for their behavior. Let me share one more story. A young man kept getting burned by a candle flame. He asked the elder monk, "Why does it hurt every time?" The monk smiled and replied, "My son, the flame has one nature to burn. Your hand also has one nature to feel pain. If you keep putting your hand near fire, don't blame the fire for being hot." The monk continued, "Forgiveness reduces pain, but distance stops pain. My friends, pain teaches you the first time, but repeated pain means you're not learning. Your heart is precious. Your life is sacred. Your time is limited. Your peace is priceless. Don't waste it on repeated wounds. Don't stay where you're slowly breaking. Don't tolerate cycles that destroy you. You can be kind, you can be compassionate, you can be forgiving, and still walk away from what hurts you. My dear friends, life becomes beautiful the moment you understand this one truth. You don't control people, but you control what you allow. When you stop tolerating disrespect, you invite respect. When you stop tolerating manipulation, you invite genuine love. When you stop tolerating self-neglect, you invite growth. When you stop tolerating repeated hurt, you invite healing. You were not sent into this world to be treated poorly. You were not born to be controlled by others. You were not created to suffer quietly. You were not made to shrink yourself to fit someone else's comfort. Raise your standards. Raise your boundaries. Raise your self-respect. Not with arrogance, but with clarity. Not with ego, but with dignity. Not with anger, but with wisdom. Remember, my friends, you teach people how to treat you. And the moment you stop tolerating the wrong things, the right things will finally find you. Don't tolerate it from anyone. Not anymore. Not ever again.